come on. Why can't I record? This is what I don't understand. This is stupid. I'm sorry, I can't freaking record. Ah, that freaking sucks. That totally freaking sucks. What the fuck? Why does it always do this? Shouldn't be freaking doing this. Let's check my Facebook later. Shit. Oh, God. What? What? Stop it. Needs conversation. Move. Move. And come out to use the washroom.
You know what? The dog's going back down Earl's room because I'm not going to listen to you guys. You want to listen to your movie? Listen to your movie. All right? It's good smelling. Seen all pretty. Oh, fiddlesticks. Thanks, Megan, for the love and support. Did she say she was coming here, Crystal? Yeah. So you're going to be by yourself again? With Dad and well, it sounds like it.
But you have your TV on. Hey, Tammy.
Find out what time. Odie, go see Earl.
Tammy.
Why?
One of them locked the door, and if that door was closed, it would have been, I unlocked it.
Oh, the bathroom door was
Yeah,
locked?
that door was locked,
Oh,
but it was
maybe
open.
you locked the bathroom door. No, don't do that. Okay? Odie, go in the other room with
Odie,
Earl.
come on.
Okay, let him go.
Come on, Odie.
Let him go, Megan. Tammy. What about the dog?
Odie.
Let the dog go. Let the dog go right now.
Odie.
Odie, go see Earl. Call him again.
Odie.
Odie. Go.
Odie.
Go, Odie.
Come on, Odie. Odie.
Shut that fucking dog mouth. Come on, Odie. Let's go. Don't you bite me. Let's go. Come on.
Come on, Odie.
Go. Come on, Odie.
Come here, boy.
Get in there.
Come here. I know. Come here. Come here. I know. I know. I know. I know. How you doing, sir? How you doing? Back leg? The back leg? Oh. Hmm. Good deal, boy. Yeah, boy. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, I heard that crack. Alright. 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 Yeah. Sleep. Good sleep. Good sleep. Oh, she's gone. Oh, oh. Hmm. Hand up, hand up. She bangs, she bangs. That baby, she moves, she moves. She walks like she's talking. She bangs, she bangs. She moves, she moves. I know, I know. Down. Lay down. Hmm. Hmm. David's wife. Shit. No. Can't record. She walk like she bangs. Hey baby, when she moves, she moves. She, ah. You ask a good I see. A baby when she moves, she moves. She
That I can show y'all. I'm talking about the Hard Rock in San Diego, though. Hi, Mom.
pass it up. Especially since I figured at my age I'd be able to get back into a government job at some point, later on down the line if I wanted to finish a retirement. And if I don't ever go back, that'll be fine too. Life's full of surprises.
So is it true what they say? It's close enough for government work? That's actually true.
I
So can we back up a second and kind of really explain the relationship between Red Hat and Fedora and what Fedora is? Can you give us an
Yeah.
overview of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Fedora project essentially is a global project of contributors, not just from inside Red Hat, but also from the volunteer community. And we all work together to build free code and content and tools. Red Hat is the primary sponsor for Fedora. And one of the things that they do as a sponsor is to devote some amount of money and manpower to the project. Obviously, a lot of our manpower comes from volunteer contributors, but a lot of the cash comes from Red Hat, and they seed us with a little bit of bandwidth and storage space for distribution. But our infrastructure is actually global at this point. Um, and as the sponsor, Red Hat actually realizes some benefits themselves from Fedora. One of them is that Fedora acts as sort of an R&D lab. Now it does this not just for Red Hat, but actually for anybody who participates in the Fedora community. So you can be involved in Fedora as a volunteer and use the project as an R&D lab for yourself. Red Hat, obviously, because they devote a lot of manpower and a lot of money to Fedora, they put in that much more effort, so they're able to realize a lot more of those benefits. So Fedora essentially ends up doing a number of things. One of the things that our project does is we produce the Linux distribution. It's a 100% free and open source distribution that is based on Linux. Anybody can download and run it, and they can redistribute it. You can remix from it. The tools and all of the content that we provide are completely open source. They're all provided under a free software and open source license. And because of the fact that our distribution is redistributable and remixable in this way, we actually serve as the upstream for other projects. And one of the ways we act as an upstream is for Red Hat's enterprise level products. Obviously, Red Hat makes their money by building services, support, and solutions on top of an enterprise quality product stream. And Red Hat Enterprise Linux is one of those products, and that's actually provided as a derivative of Fedora. I could tell you guys a little bit about how that works if you're interested. It's essentially a branching kind of a branching method. So Fedora is a constantly running stream, right? We have a rapid release cycle. We produce a distribution about every 6 months, and obviously that's a very rapid cycle to keep up. And certainly you wouldn't expect any business that relies on an operating system or a platform for support. They can't keep up with that kind of update, right? We release about twice a year, again every 6 months, and we support each release for just a little over a year. So when Fedora 11 comes out, hopefully next week, a month after that happens, Fedora 9 will actually reach its end of life. And so we're usually supporting about 2 releases at a time, and for a month there's a little bit of layover, right, where people who are on 9 will want to switch to 11 so that they can keep getting security updates. Now that pace is obviously really fast and not suitable for business use, but Red Hat has a whole class of products, their enterprise products, which are supported for a 7-year lifetime. And what happens is every so often, every few years, Red Hat will take what's in Fedora and they'll sort of snapshot it, and they'll take a look at what's inside, and they'll do a lot of tinkering and heavy-duty quality assurance. There's a huge amount of hardware testing, independent hardware and software vendor certifications, and all of this work then goes into a process of about anywhere from 6 months to a year of really intense work inside the company. And at the end of that, you have the enterprise product, which is going to be supported for 7 years. So right now, obviously in Fedora, we are producing what you could think of as the future of Red Hat Enterprise Linux products. So the RHEL 6 that you'll see in the future is going to be based on what Fedora looks like today, tomorrow, a few months from now, somewhere around that area.
Nice. So you're upstream from Red Hat, right? Do they feed back patches back to you then?
Yeah, absolutely. When problems are found inside the kernel or anything like that, obviously the teams inside Red Hat interface with our Fedora specific engineering team, which is actually very, very small, all things considered. And those engineers are working on Fedora part-time I think to a man, actually. Just about every engineer in our Linux development shop is actually working in the Fedora platform for some portion of their day. So when they find problems, obviously those all get funneled into Fedora back into the upstream community. Now there are some patches that they develop which are going to be very specific for the enterprise product, right? The fact that you have some specific code that is designed to enable a hardware platform for a commercial partner is not necessarily going to be the same thing that you would want to send upstream to the kernel developers, because they take a very, very broad view of how the kernel is supposed to work, and a very neutral view, whereas Red Hat obviously has particular commercial concerns, right? With their partners that they want to fulfill. So there's, there might be some splay in
Alright.
development patches that are particular to Red Hat, and what we actually will use in Fedora and send upstream to the open source projects that provide our software. But on the whole, that's actually part of the big value add for Red Hat, right? Is their experience in these communities, and the fact that is that we don't accumulate a lot of chaff inside, right? Because that just causes more of a maintenance nightmare when you have to keep up code on a continual basis without it being upstreamed. It's actually a burden and not a benefit.
Now, so comparing Red Hat then, their enterprise release, with Fedora, would I see a difference as a user other than a version number? Is there a lot of differences, a little bit difference?
Well, I think you would end up seeing more of a difference as time goes on. Fedora is a rapidly moving distribution, and we feature a lot of new technologies. Some of them maybe aren't appropriate for the enterprise customers that Red Hat has. But at the time that the product normally is released, you'll see a good deal of interplay between what the Red Hat Enterprise Linux product looks like and what Fedora looks like at that time. But again, over the couple of years, as the branches diverge, you're going to see, I'm trying to hold my hands right here on the camera. It's just this is backwards for you. I'll just do it. I told you I was going to do a dance, and this was it.
I can make you widescreen. You want to be widescreen?
No, believe I'm wide enough. Actually,
I'll stretch you. There you go. How's that? Yeah, look at all the room you have now.
We just got a reactive, and now I feel like I really need to break it out. And so anyway, as I was saying, as that branch diverges, over time, the products really start looking very dissimilar. That's a positive thing for enterprise consumers, because they need that stability, they need the security of knowing that they can rely on that platform being the same. The ABI is stable for all 7 years. The ways that they develop their applications don't have to change for a very long time for compatibility. Whereas in Fedora, you have a platform essentially that's turning over every 6 months to a year. It's much more work to keep that sort of compatibility, which is why we focus so heavily on the upstream, making sure that we are working directly with upstream, so that the software that we get is going to integrate well in our distribution.
So you're at Fedora 10 now, and 11 is coming out soon?
Yeah, absolutely. 11 is supposed to be out next Tuesday, June 2nd.
Yay.
Cool.
We're right now, we are waiting on news about, you have two particular bugs. I was in a release readiness meeting earlier today, and there are two particular bugs that we are trying to chase down to ground and make sure that we're going to either have fixes in place, or that we've narrowed the use case down enough that we feel comfortable releasing, and we'll either have a 0-day update, or at least be able to give people a workaround for it. This particular release, Fedora 11, has had some major changes, and not the least of which was a major rewrite of the storage backend for our installation program, which is called Anaconda. And essentially, we wrote a piece that was of the storage that was going to handle in a more modular and extensible fashion all of the various kinds of large media that people are running into nowadays, huge storage arrays, cluster computing. There's a number of cases that we wanted to make sure we were going to be able to handle now and in the future. Not necessarily for that type of enterprise customer, but again, because we're working in this R&D capacity, we're always trying to engage that forward tip. So the whole storage backend has been rewritten, and as a result of that, of course, a lot of things fell out of it where we needed to spend a lot of time fixing bugs for the average desktop and laptop user, where Fedora is so popular.
Do you have any sense of the number of changes you come up with in 6 months, like 20,000 commits or 2,000 commits?
Oh gosh, for just that piece, I think just for Anaconda, it's I would imagine it's many hundreds, and maybe even project wide, it's probably uncountable. I mean,
Mm.
the way that the way that our packaging works, obviously we've got particular commits that are happening with our software packaging, but we're essentially encapsulating all of the changes that have gone on in the upstream, right? So you have all these thousands of software
Mm.
communities, between the core pieces of Linux that everyone thinks of, like the kernel, the Xorg project that provides the graphical interface, GNOME, which provides so much of the desktop interactivity, and for people like different desktops, KDE. I mean, all of these projects are comprise myriad changes that have happened in the last 6 months. So all of those are being captured in this issue of Fedora. So when you see Fedora 11, you're really going to be getting software that is not quite. I mean, it's not quite up to the last minute of release, of course, but because we do have to get some testing and QA in there. But it's incredibly up to date. I mean, I think people are rightfully amazed at the fact that we're able to turn out every 6 months something that is a really well integrated piece of software and shows off all the open source work that's out there, from programming languages to desktop environments to utilities and productivity programs. I mean, all of that stuff is part of the release, and that packaging work is done in large part by our volunteers. In fact, the majority of our software packagers are actually volunteers, not Red Hat employees. And I think
Mm.
the number is something like 75 or 80%
Wow,
now.
that's neat.
It's really staggering. So I mean, it's a close partnership between the folks inside Red Hat and the folks who are volunteers. And part of my job is sort of to be the go-between
Mm.
from those two camps, right? Making sure that no one's doing anything that's going to surprise the other, making sure that Red Hat continues to work in a very open and transparent way on Fedora, making sure that the community is enabled to do what they need to do with Fedora, and as those changes happen, making sure equally well that people inside Red Hat are aware of the changes that are going on, so that our development processes inside, which of course affect our product line, are adjusting as they need to, right? And that our inputs being considered along with everything else in the project.
And speaking of those processes, what do you use with that kind of distribution and volunteers and mix of people with different skill levels? Do you use what kind of bug tracking system? What kind of distributed version control? What do you use for your tools to get that to happen?
Right. We've been using now for many years Red Hat's Bugzilla instance, and we use
Mm-hmm.
that to track bugs in our packages the same way that Red Hat uses Bugzilla to track its package its software problems for its customers. So we're simply
Mm-hmm.
using the same instance because there's such a synergy between the fixes. Obviously, when you fix something in Fedora, that can affect the current or future Red Hat Enterprise Linux products as well. As far as our version tracking systems, for our packages, a lot of the software work.
Stereo, very real. I kinda feel it. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. That is here, buddy. He's here. Okay. 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 Calm out. Calm. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Good deal.
Because I told you he had nice furniture. I don't.
Get up. Good girl. Come here.
Mm-hmm. What? Ah, shit. Blue? Okay, but mm,
You need the washroom?
nope.
Okay, I'm going in.
Hi, you streamers. How you doing? Oh, wrong channel. Great.
Earl, where's he at right now?
Hmm. Oh, someone beat me. Hey, bud. I'm gonna close down the AMSN. So, there we go. There. Close it. So how you doing today, buddy, besides falling asleep for 2 hours? Work. Blush. Not much. Um, Same here. Except for the work part. And the blushing part. Yeah, I pretty much had a good day. Took a nap, you know. Had Lucky Charms for breakfast. You know they're magically delicious, you know. Oh, come on. You would think you got I thought you guys would get that for sure. Well, hmm. Yes, the dragon has been here. But then he went to go watch Eminem's movie, 8 Mile. He only started 1 mile, but then he has to go finish the 7 more miles. Ah, dun, 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 dun. Hmm. I'm not too crazy about Eminem. But I do like EMMA.
Odie. Earl, can you call Odie?
Odie!
Odie!
Odie! Relax. Behave. Mm. Yeah, it was thundering and raining here earlier. Didn't see any lightning though. Probably was on the other side of the house and I couldn't see it. What, you would think I'm fibbing? Hmm. Alright. Down. Down. Get under. Get under here. Get under here. Where are you? So how much do you need, like, for, like the pay, to get into, college or university? Alright, I'll pick you up. Jeez. Okay, will you hold on, honey? Jeez. He's like poking me with his nose. Of course, me is like, mhm. Exams, extra. Boy. Why don't they just take your blood? It would be more cheaper and easier. Hmm. Alright. And I'm glad I know what pounds means because I would be like, boy, because if I didn't know what pounds meant, I would be like, boy, you're gonna have to gain some weight there. Because when I was younger and I heard about pounds, I'm like, I mean, it all depends on your weight. Be careful. Down. Trying to get my mouse back up here now. Luckily, my mouse landed on my bed. So how's your cooling thing? Is it really helping your laptop? Then you guys work in power and we work in stone. Yeah. Hmm. So when you see a really big guy, you're like, man, he's a boulder of a man. Working pretty good. He, you won't believe this, he was up for 26 hours. He said something to do with ladies or something. I don't know. No, he was up for 26 hours. I couldn't do that. I don't know. I don't ask. He said something to do with ladies. I don't know if he meant that figuratively or if he was trying to be funny, but. Oh, okay. Then I tried recording from from YouTube and from Ustream. I can't record from both. I'm having a recording issue. I can stream in that, but I can't record. And I don't know why. And that puzzles me. Because in YouTube, all I got was that, where it would have a picture of me, but it wouldn't. It had a picture, but it would. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can. Because all I'm doing is pushing the record button for the, on the website, you know. Hip, um, I don't know what Hip's doing. Probably he's working. Omni left, so that makes us alone. I'm kidding. Yeah, they probably would know, but they're not here, so I mean, play Twitter asking. That's not my phone. That's Deer's phone going off. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hello? Ring, ring. Hello? Hey. Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Trying to figure out something here. Hold on. Uh, you know what? I don't think I have my mic set up in my AMSN. What? Uh, what are you doing, Noreen? Uh-oh. Emma. Hello? Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? I think we lost Dory. Okay. Um, no. I was gonna try and do an audio chat with you through AMSN, but I need to set up my mic first. What? It's gonna be okay. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, sure. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Mm. I can do it later. Mm. My niece keeps on biting her finger every now and then. I don't know why she does it. She's like 4 or 3, something like that. Yep. Yeah, I got two nieces. So do do you plan on still work? Yeah, you're gonna have to still be working, you know, even when you're doing you know doing your courses, you know. Darn it! I thought I was just gonna do this the one time and I wasn't gonna have to do it, but I guess I have to keep on doing it. Hopefully I'll still be with. Who knows? It might end up coming out with a concept where, you know, you open up your own place, and combine music and, that could be one other route they're going, and yet not being famous. Who knows? Oh, poor little guy. It's like, I want out. Why won't they let me out? Don't they know I'm a cute dog? Oh, come. He'll be out. You have to wait a week or so, Odie. Then Mom will be okay. Then, well, I could scare you like I did yesterday. That probably would help. One of the cures is probably holding your breath. Emma, look behind you. When you listen. What are you doing? Down. Did that work? Darn it. Maybe I should have gotten the hockey mask and the axe and the overalls with fake blood on the axe. You know, that probably would have scared you. So look in the mirror. No, you are not scary at all. Yeah, I've been avoiding my emails for the last several days. I don't know why. Oh, I haven't looked at my emails for the past several days. That's what I said. Oh. Plus, there are some emails like there's one like emails I get from like Fanbox, and they've been doing this like where you need a cell phone number to like only need like a cell phone number to like log in and all that. I'm like, I don't have freaking cell phone to log in. Like it's stupid. People send me stuff and I can't freaking see it. Yeah. It's like this virtual. What? But Earl what? But me what? I know that. I don't have a cell phone. How did you break your cell phone? I ain't got owned? Oh, you mean one? You put a D instead of an E. Let's take my sins. Mom washed my jeans. Man, you must have really a small. He drowned. uh, boy, he must be a small little phone. I would never do that. He was. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Who knows? You might get a new one down the line. Moby. Mobley. Mobley. Often she thinks of all the times they had together. Well, you can't walk around with a phone cord behind you. Do you realize how long it would have to be? Especially when you're riding a bike. You're riding your bike all of a sudden, your phone cord gets wrapped into your wheel, the spoke of your wheel, then you go tumbling. Plus you're on your phone, all of a sudden a car comes by. That would be unwise and unsafe. Total your whole bike. Mm. Yep, it's always raining somewhere. Well, there most of the time it's raining somewhere at least. What's really cool is when you're driving along in a car and it's in a thunderstorm. It's always cool if you're at a vantage point, like if you're on a highway or something like that, where you can see like the lightning, like the lightning, hitting the ground off in the distance, or seen a cool cloud or a cloud formation. Oh, it's awesome. I can remember a few years ago, I was at this barbecue with some friends, and it was raining. We were out in the city, and it was raining and thundering over, at, in the city, and we could see the like thunder, in the clouds and the in the cloud formation. I wish I had the camera that day. It would have been cool for a desktop. I gotta look for some more desktops. Like desktop theme, not themes, but wallpapers. Thank you. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get more water. And Omni is gonna miss the pizza I just got. Dang it, that dragon. That's the second time I had pizza that I had pizza pops. I mean pizza, pizza. Well, yeah. Okay. when girls in the washroom? Gee, what kind of dog are you? I'm back. Sometimes I think I'm from another planet, which I'm probably am, but no one. Okay. Okay. You want out? Okay. Okay, calm out. Calm down. Welcome back. Mm. Where did you go? Mm. What are you drinking? Me too. Ain't that weird? We're both drinking water. Julio. Yeah, I guess HBO, the HBO channel in the U.S. they're gonna be running a uh, a mini series on Winston Churchill. From from what I hear, it's supposed to be a very very good. Don't know if it'll be showing here in Canada, but I imagine so. Hi, little Lobo. Little Lobo. How are you doing? Oh, you're from Peru. Oh, cool. I'm from Canada, and Emma's from Ireland. Well, didn't stay too long. I was hoping I could learn more about Peru, but, well, I guess now I can't. Is, is Scotland part of the UK? Or is Scotland its own thing? Okay. down. Oh, na na. Let's go down in the city, and the sun shines on the bed. I wanna be. Yeah, Deer's playing music on your stream right now. Or I should say, oh dear God, or oh dear God. mm. Yep. Mm. Someone's beeping me. Now where are you going? First it was to get water. Be right back.
You want a brownie? Maybe can they split a brownie, Mom? Nana said you guys can split a brownie.
No, Dad. We can both have a piece. Like you can.
Are you sure?
Like you can.
I'm gonna see the wrapper. There's a wrapper in here.
Mommy. Mom, have a brownie.
You share with your sister that?
No, I want a brownie. Mom, I want a brownie. I guess I'll eat it.
No, you only eat half.
Mommy can have a brownie. Mama, I want a brownie. Mommy can have a brownie.
See, I knew he was up to no good when he went back in there that second time.
Mommy can have a brownie. Mama, I want a brownie. Mama, I want a brownie.
So he gets nothing in his lunchbox right now. He wants to eat it. That's okay. I took one for lunch, Dad. And I have I had one today that was left was more. But it was all in a pack and there was only 3 left, so it was worth it. You're welcome. That was still left here this morning. I know, right?
Anna, you should tell us. Like, you don't have no stuff like that in your lunch. Anna, but we didn't want a brownie. So we're gonna eat our second one when we get home. So yeah.
Ooh, just don't hit my head. You didn't move. Hey, move. Mommy's gonna wipe Dan's mouth.
Oh, you're
Dang
gonna.
it! Watch this. Oh. Go! You stink! Oh, did you do anything?
Mama.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had the other one on. Sorry.
Mom, can you come to the house?
In a minute.
Brooklyn, slow down.
Today is at Kevin's house for his gym thing. Take those things and put them in my bedroom. Okay. On top of the keys. She did that with me. Megan Marie!
I did Megan.
Yeah, I hear that.
Megan, eat yours. Grandma. No.
Go put that in the garbage, please, Brooke.
Don't know what that was from. Do 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 do. No, no, no. Oh, oh. Somebody has quit. Okay. No, 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 no. I'm back, Emma. Boy, I really need to clean my monitor. I got the sunlight a bit on it, so it's showing me how dusty it is. Call on, you can call me anything or that. Call me. Call me. Baby wipes are the best for that. I sound like I should have children. Well, someday you will have children. Don't know how many, but someday you will have children. You're a well-tempered person, Emma. I know my monitor. I know what you meant. I know what you meant for using the baby wipes for. Was it? Hmm. Well, let's see. If you have twins, you kill two birds with one stone, basically. Scary heaven. Sorry. Yeah. My sister has two. Oh, they were a handful. I'd rather space, if I ever have family, I want them pretty much spaced apart so they're not too close, so they're not like really too much of a handful. You know, like maybe 5 years apart, maybe, you know, just space it out like that. But in order to do that, I would need a girlfriend first, then a what, then have her become my wife. No, I have two sisters, and they don't really listen to me all that well, Emma.
Hello, me.
Odin!
Let him go. Odie, Odie,
Odin! Girls!
trying to get him.
Come on, boy. Come on. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah. doggy. Yeah, I got a doggy. Yeah. Hmm. Good little boy. Good little boy. Alright. What? 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 What are you doing? Yeah, I'm sure you were a handful for your mother. Emma, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What? You wanna go up here?
Wait a minute, come get Lil.
What are you doing? Shut. Good boy. Lay down. Come here, Owie.
It wasn't Brooklyn, it was Nathan.
No, this way, Odie. This way. Come on, Odie. Come on. Odie. Come on. Come on, boy. Oh, well.
Morty!
Odie, come here.
Earl, come here, Earl.
Come on. Damn.
Put it back before you drop it.
Jesse Whiskey, the doggy walnut. What? Are you flipping on me now, Emma? Damn, Louie. Yeah, I need to get a curtain for in here. So it blocks the sun mostly. Like it allows light in, but it, you know. Jukebox hero.
friend feed conversation that apps are still limited to 2 gigs, even if you make this. It's only that you're giving the operating system all that RAM.
Correct. The applications themselves are still limited, well, to 2 or 3, depending on what you're doing. It's a little complicated, but
But the point being that what we want this memory for in many cases is the ability to 8 gigs for Photoshop.
Right, or Premiere or anything like
Right.
that.
But so you need a 64-bit app to take advantage of that.
right,
Which Photoshop
anything.
happens to be actually.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if that, but that's like one of a very few right now that are actually going to gobble up more than, more than 2 gigs per app. But yeah, I mean, even Physics Logic extension has been supported by a lot of things for a long time. I mean, OS 10, like 10.5 supports it, and
Oh,
32-bit
really?
kernel.
Oh, okay.
Linux 32-bit kernel supported for a while. So yeah.
So to give him credit, it's Jeff Chappell that wrote this original article. Jeff, GEOFFCHAPPELL.com. You want to read the details. And he's a guy, I mean, but you already knew that. That's what's interesting, Alan. You'd already done this as an experiment.
Yeah, I'd already been there, done that, just playing around.
So let's talk about the starter edition, because Microsoft has said now that you can run more than 3 apps at a time. Thank you, Microsoft.
So, but then I mean, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent on that.
It's up to
That's
him.
the exact same licensing issue.
Right.
I think, while I would never buy an operating system running that way, that I think Microsoft has the right to be able to create these differentiations.
And if they said it's intended
Let
for
go.
the
Let
destinations
go.
where they
Let
are
go,
hiding, and so they want to make a very cheap version of Windows and with some artificial restrictions, that makes sense.
Right. I mean, because you look, everybody likes to compare it to what Apple does. Apple charges $99 for their operating system upgrades usually, right? But it's one charge if you have, it's the same fee, same price from MacBook to Mac Pro, right? And Microsoft just chooses to not do that. Whether or not you agree with it or not, I guess is irrelevant. It's completely within their
Go on.
right to be able to do that.
Go on.
If you don't like it,
Let go.
operating system.
Let go. Let go, Odie. Let go. Let go.
Yeah.
Let go.
For a year and a half.
Let go.
Leo, I'm hooked. I got you hooked on the solid-state drive. You got me hooked on Windows 7.
Isn't it great?
I'm freaking hooked. I'm on it right now on a laptop. It does better than it did with XP on the same hard drive.
It's stunning. It's kind of, you almost want to say, well, gee, thanks, Microsoft. Maybe you could have done this a little sooner.
I'm still sticking by the theory that it's going to show up as the Mojave experiment, and everything on it is the same. They just put a new theme on it.
It is. It's just Vista. But Alan is right. There's no way you could say it is not faster, because you're running it on hardware that Vista was way slower on. You couldn't run Vista on a netbook.
I agree.
You can run Windows 7 on it, so it's not Mojave. It is faster, if nothing else.
And the video driver enhancements, because this laptop I'm on now just has this cheesy, Intel, whatever, the built-in integrated call it graphics hub thing. And just that newer 1.1 version of the driver that supports Flash, just the way that it handles video, it just does things a lot more smoothly than XP ever did, because everything is on its own layer. Different handling video streaming. Like Skype, for example, handles.
What time do you have, Emma? I have 6:45. 4:46.
7 you're running that?
This is on 7.
Yeah, looks really
With
good.
Skype, and I've got all kinds of other stuff.
There's a new Skype. I've got to upgrade to the, I think, 4.1 just came out, so I have to upgrade that.
Oh, didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
So Windows 7 Starter Edition, which, by the way, I think Windows 7 Starter Edition is not meant for the developing nations. They switched the terminology. Windows 7 Starter Edition is now aimed at netbook, super low-cost PCs.
But it's not going to be limited to 3 apps, right?
Well, oh man, it's almost midnight there.
But what is interesting?
If you're a netbook user.
Holy crap!
Yeah, if you're a netbook user.
Why should you? 3 apps? I'm sorry. Especially if you put 2 gigs in your netbook.
Right, I agree. Well, there's a more interesting topic I think that came up that I don't think I've seen really anybody else address. Maybe I'm over reading into.
How much time for you to go to bed?
A news post that I posted up, redundant there, last week about Microsoft defining what hardware the starter edition could be installed on. And I'm going to show a table here, but I have no idea if it's even going to show up. Not really. More than a little hard to read there.
Read it to
But
us.
it's so it has for Windows XP and Windows Vista, the screen size could not exceed 12.1 inches. It could only have a gig of RAM. This is for the
In the wild
low
crocodile.
cost PC version of Windows XP, the same one that's on the PC2.
I'm not a crocodile. I'm a
It has to run
human.
160 gig hard drive or 32 gig solid state drive. Has to have less than or equal to DX9 graphics.
Now, who's responsible for enforcing this? The OEMs?
Microsoft enforces it on the OEMs when they buy the licenses for Windows.
Okay.
So I mean, this doesn't. They're not really trying to enforce this to the individual consumer.
If you bought it, you could do it.
So I mean, this fit PC2 completely falls into this category, right? It has 1 gig of RAM. It has 160 gig standard hard drive. Single core processor that does not exceed 1 gigahertz frequency, or then it lists out the different Atom processors or Celeron, ultra low voltage processors, and this kind of stuff. So those, I don't think it's a really well-known fact that they were limiting what hardware this could be installed on that specifically. So they came out with the information then for Windows 7 specifications. And remember how at the beginning of the show I told you that I think Microsoft has defined what a netbook is for Windows 7 at the very least, if not for the industry. So now the screen size is not to exceed 10.2 inches. And the memory still can't be more than 1 gig of memory. The hard drive can go up to 250 gigs standard drive or 64 gig solid state drive. No limitation on graphics. No limitation on touch screens or anything like that. It used to be you could only be resistive touch only. Now you can do capacitive or resistive or anything you want. Now, to me, okay, well, first, to me, that defines what a netbook is now. If Windows 7 Starter Edition, they're saying is for the netbook low-cost PC market, and then they say that they can only OEMs can install that version
They
of Windows
drive
7
me
on a
crazy,
machine with a gig of
I
RAM,
mean, sure, I want a family, I
screen
know
size of 10.2
the
inches or
craziness
less,
coming
250 gig
with
hard
having
drive
a
or less.
family, but
To
man,
me, that is kind of defining
it's
what the
like,
netbook market is.
Yeah.
And I think that's fairly close to what I envisioned it to be anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fine too, right?
Yeah. Now, the part that I kind of grabbed onto it and ran with here
like,
is
I'm
the CPU
sure,
specifications.
if
It
and when
says
I do become a dad, it's
that
gonna
Starter Edition
change
can only be installed
the
on
way I
single-core
feel,
processors
but
that do not exceed 2 gigahertz in frequency
right
and
now it's
have
like,
a CPU standard line
ugh.
power that is less than or equal to 15 watts, not including the graphics and chipset.
So this is them attempting to define what a netbook is, essentially.
It's just want to tie
This is
them down to a
That's
chair and
clearly what
just
they're doing.
sit
This
there
is them trying to make sure that somebody doesn't take
till
Windows
I'm
7 Starter
done.
Edition, which now no longer has that 3 application limit,
Right.
and sells it for $20.
Does it have
or
any
$50.
limits?
It doesn't. I don't think it has any limits other than these hardware limits
Oh,
now.
well, that's not bad.
That's not bad. So
Now watch, because Newegg's going to start selling OEM copies of this Windows 7 Starter
Right.
Edition.
that I think would be interesting because I don't think they'll implement any of that into like the installation process. They may, but I don't think they will. But here, this is what from a hardware perspective, this is what I thought was most interesting. The CPU requirement has to be thermal power of less than or equal to 15 watts, not including the graphics and chipset. Now, why is that interesting?
Why is that interesting?
So, what they're basically saying is if you have a processor,
Yeah.
it can exceed 15 watts power consumption.
Right.
That is what they're now defining CPU performance, not really based on clock speed anymore, but based on how much power it uses.
Yeah. And why do they do that? Because they've already said 2 gigahertz or less. I guess that's how they keep you from using a Core 2.
Right. Well, there's two things from this. One is I think it is going to be it's going to cause a dramatic shift in the way these processor companies are designing parts from the ground up and what their targets are going to be.
So they're going to
now if you're
position the
Intel
market.
or via AMD, you now not like the Via Nano versus the Intel Atom.
You now have a target
Via
power.
Nano was a better performer, but the power consumption was higher.
Yeah.
now Microsoft has set this fixed power limit, 15
Very
watts,
interesting.
and now these companies can simply go, what is the most performance we can get in 15
I
watts,
mean,
instead of having to say,
it's
okay,
like
do a single
I'm
design
glad
cycle.
when they're
And to
gone.
me, what that's going, it's
I
going
can be
to,
like, oh,
I feel like it's going to shift
sheesh.
how these companies develop processors,
But
right? Because I
then,
would
yeah,
imagine
I
these
feel
kinds of
sorry for my
specifications may even,
sister
or these
when
kinds of,
she's at
um,
home.
yeah, these hardware specs may even, move outside of the network market, right, into phones
Right.
and those internet devices and this kind of stuff. And so by Microsoft defining what the very definition of a network CPU is, you know, VIA and AMD, in my opinion, have a fighting chance now because they don't have to
Ah.
worry about um, Intel just being able to come in with the next higher part that runs a little bit faster. If VIA's efficiency in their processor design is tweaked in such a way that they get the most power possible out of 15 watts, then um,
This may be an unintended consequence.
I agree.
Huh.
So to me, I haven't seen anybody else really kind of think this way. So either I'm way off base, and I'd love to hear what maybe Paul has to say tomorrow about
Yeah,
this.
I'll ask about it.
Either I'm way off base or it's something that hasn't really kicked
So,
in yet. Microsoft has set these kind of
how
goals, and
I
the
think
how
other
is the
case,
work on
Microsoft is
the
uneasily
updating the
doing
kitchen
this
going?
for you.
Are they almost
I
like
agree, especially
halfway done?
to the detail, because it's one thing to say a 1.6 gigahertz processor. It's another thing to get down to the defining it by the power wattage.
Challenges.
The other interesting thing, and I know I've been talking about this for a while, but the last week we talked about Intel Pine Trail, which is the next generation of Atom processor. And what was significant about that is that it integrated the memory controller and basically the North Bridge and the graphics core onto the CPU itself. So what is significant about that is this: the
Yay!
specifications from Microsoft say the
Hmm.
CPU cannot exceed 15 watts, not including the graphics
Well,
and chipset.
you should
So
post a
I also
pic
think
on
just that by definition, these specs are opening the door for what I
your
call NVIDIA's Ion, because
MySpace
See, maybe that Microsoft is so smart that
on
they
your
figured out.
MySpace page.
Maybe they
I
want to
would like to
promote
think
this.
so.
Maybe they would like to promote competition in the chipset. It certainly works for
Or
them.
or if you have older
I
pictures
agree. So
of
now
the
we've got
old
the Intel
kitchen,
Pine Trail. It's going to have
you should
the
like put
processor, the
like a
memory, and the
picture of the
graphics in
old
one chip. It's
kitchen
going to be on one chip.
and the
And
new
if that one
kitchen.
chip can't, if they don't let that one chip exceed 15 watts, then the raw CPU power should be significantly less than if you just had the processor itself on its single chip not being able to exceed 15 watts.
Good theory. I'm going to run this by Paul tomorrow. We're running out of time, so I want to get to a couple
Okay.
of things, especially while Alan is here. I
yeah.
saw that OCC is shipping the Summit. Now do I wish I had one of those?
No, because that's the same
Yeah,
exact size
before
as
and
the Vista.
after. That's fine.
Same exact one. Although it's more expensive because
Well, is this a
it's the
different
same
Samsung
Samsung.
controller?
In the Summit? No,
Yes.
it'll be the same controller as in the currently shipping Corsairs.
Okay.
I thought it was different. I did some digging. It should be the same.
Is the price
Uh,
better?
no, the price actually, well, it's worse right now because they just came out. They're only available at a few different places.
Sure.
So, you've got, actually, the price on your Corsair, Leo, dropped to 300 after you bought it.
Yeah, $30 for 10%.
Well, that's 10% drop, though. I
Yeah,
hope.
no,
Yeah.
but no, in fact, that's a
I
great
got a
comparison.
long time before it's
I would like to put them in my
midnight.
cabinets.
Oh,
I have a
exactly.
lot of laptops.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to see them. I'm still very happy with the solid state drive. I put it in my MacBook Pro, and you still have one in yours, right, Ryan?
Yes,
And you're
definitely.
happy with it?
Yep. No problem.
We're all costing people extra money every time we talk about this stuff.
It makes a big difference and we'll just in case you missed this whole conversation. It makes a big
There
difference
was
in program launch time.
someone in his dad's room
Yeah, yeah.
named
Everything's good.
Booby
Everything we have
Trap.
here, a hard drive chugging away, doesn't take time anymore. Simple as that. But there's some other new stuff that just came out this week.
His
Other
dad's
news that's not.
still not home.
Serial ATA
I hope he's
3.0 specs just
okay.
became official. The guys actually came
How
out with
fast
the
is
specs.
that?
It is 6 gigabits a second,
Twice as fast.
so it should be twice as fast. there's some extra stuff they added to the spec though that everybody's just focusing on the raw speed, but there's actually a little bit more going on there. They made some changes to native command tuning, um, which is actually quite interesting because the um, the Western Digital Enterprise class 2 terabyte drive that we talked about, well, I talked about a few weeks back, um,
Yeah.
it had two CPUs on it. Now, I imagine part of the reason that they made a dual CPU hard drive was because it's trying to juggle around all the rearranging of the queue to actually pull off command queuing. So Serial AK3 spec added host-based command queue management. So in other words, your Core i7, fire breathing dragon of a computer can actually do that work of rearranging, pre-sorting the requests going up drive. There's some other stuff they added. Command key streaming. This is actually very important. Actually, Andy and Nacho would probably love this one because oops, I think I jumped.
No, you're still here.
No?
Oh, I am still there. Okay.
Yeah.
There's native command key streaming, and what this is, it lets when the computer sends hey, I need this sector, I need this data over here. When it sends that to the drive, it can say, oh, by the way, this is for a video stream.
Oh.
So now the drive will go, oh wait, this is time critical. I need to get this out first.
Kind of a QoS in hard drive.
No,
Exactly.
we do not get hurricanes.
QoS
But
for
we've been known to
a
get
robot.
tornadoes where I'm at.
And they added some power management and just extra power management stuff. This is not power management for the drive. This is power management for the speed that the actual Serial ATA
Why, you get
so it
hurricanes?
can drop down to like a sort of a standby or sleep mode whenever there's not data going across the line, because that actually takes power, especially in some kind of a MOS device. And they added some other, the physical spec is you don't have to run out and buy new cables or anything like
good.
that.
That's good.
They did add some extra connector types. They added an extra connector type for 1.8-inch drives, which is going to come in handy for netbooks. And they added a connector that's supposed to be compatible with like 7mm CD drives. 7mm.
Let me think about what that means. 7mm CD drive.
So do you live by the ocean or?
It's got to be something that has to do with. All I can think of is Apple. So.
Yeah. Why would you want a 7mm? Oh.
Yeah.
For a tablet.
Well, for whatever, but it's in the spec now. So
Nobody's gonna put a CD drive in a tablet.
I don't know. That's pretty darn thin for a CD drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we have that. That's all the stuff that's been thrown into Serial AK3.
That's a strange thing. I like that kind of. You're reading the tea leaves there. I don't know what that means, but it's interesting.
Oh, I read through the spec. I saw that, and all I could think of was somebody's trying to cram some really thin CD-ROM drive into something. Yeah. Speculate away.
Yeah, I asked you and you said, yeah, well, it looked like to be yes, but you broke it up.
Known for continuous.
Yeah, I did ask that. Then I asked if you live by the ocean.
Micron memory.
No, J-Micron.
That's a different company.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they're just playing off the name. Well, probably. But yeah, they came out with a
J-Micron Packard Bell.
Okay.
yeah, basically. New controller. It's gonna be.
Oh man,
the same
that would be so cool. Riding the horse down by the ocean. Oh, that would be so cool.
It's gonna support a whole bunch of things that
You
they
live in
couldn't
the
support in the
country.
beginning and have been the banes of their existence thus far. But now they're adding them, and it's going to be 8-channel controller. It's going to have cache on board. It's going to support native command queuing. All these things that they're basically playing catch up with things like what Intel and Samsung have been doing for a while now. But it's good to hear that.
Now where are you going?
Usually they're the lowest cost.
BRB.
Hopefully they're going to drag all the other guys' prices down. Is what my hope is. Which is again good news for everybody.
So I guess we'll probably talk a lot more in detail about those two last ones, the SATA 3 spec and the new J Micron controller rumors that we're hearing during the podcast tonight.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
should
we
mention
will.
that. Stay tuned because at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, these guys come back with their buddies and they jaw about all this stuff and what it all means. And that's where you get more speculation.
I'm gonna do a lot more speculating tonight,
Yeah, you've been
especially on
silent.
that.
Oh yeah, there will be much speculating.
Let's quickly get your see J Mike
Contest.
on the side. Yeah, so all we have left is a contest winner.
So last week we gave away an Asus 9800 GT overclocked graphics card.
Take
It
all that
goes
shit
to
off. You won't
Mark
listen.
Oh, Gabe!
at
Nobody
Tennessee.
listens to you.
Because I'm with Immort Captain.
Of course,
Now,
I
Liam,
didn't bring them to the desk with me.
be
So we're gonna
good.
give away a copy of Mirror's
Flip over
Edge
your ear.
on the PC and a copy of Stalker Clear Sky as well.
Colleen really has been singing the praises of Mirror's Edge.
I thought it was ironic here. So we've got the Mirror's Edge, which
Are
uses the
you?
NVIDIA PhysX stuff in it in a pretty unique way. And then Stalker Clear Sky is one of the few games that uses DirectX 10.1, which is an AMD only feature at the time right now. So we've got kind of one from each. That's why, look, these companies send me these
Omni is
stuff hoping that we're using
twittering right now.
because of the NVIDIA specific features and the AMD specific features. But I figured I've already got these games, so I'll just give them away to everybody. We'll give them away to two winners this time, so one guy or gal doesn't get both titles. And
so you're gonna split it up, and
we'll split it up.
first winner gets choice, or
We'll do first winner gets their choice. They can put in the little field, I guess, which one their choice would be if that's any easier. So again, to enter the contest, we're going to use the handy dandy Google Forms, which you can get to now by going to pcper.com/twitch. I finally figured out the redirects. So.
TWICH, and then you could fill out the form, and that gives you an entry. And you have till midnight Eastern. I put the wrong date in the dump sheet there. Midnight Eastern on June 3rd. Midnight Eastern on June 3rd, which is next Wednesday.
Yep. So fill out a little survey here. We kind of ask you about what hardware configuration you have now, what size, how much memory, what size hard drives, what kind of processor you have. Just trying to get a feel for what people have in their systems today.
But don't worry, no salesman will call.
No salesman's gonna call. This is strictly for PC Per and Twitch informational purposes. Help us kind of figure out what we want to talk
Yeah,
about.
Charlie. Candy Mountain. Yeah.
Exactly.
Come
And if
with
people have
us,
any
Charlie.
specific topics they want us to cover or anything like that, they can still email me. I know we're not using that email address for the contest anymore.
Oh, you
So
can.
they just send an email to Ryan@twit.tv.
Still works.
It still works. I still read it. Actually, now I'm more apt to read it because I'm not getting hundreds and hundreds of contest entries in.
That's gotta be pretty dang bad when
There's new content in.
you go into a cave, then they take out, one of your organs. Yeah, that's not good.
Like smaller.
vmedia.net. vmedia is small pocket-sized disc bring DVD-style entertainment to mobile devices. Maybe this is it's kind of like the UMD that the PSP was. It's got a little cartridge and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah, let's not bring back the UMD. But that might be 7mm thick. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. Well, if it uses Stereo ATH,
It's random.
we're connected to it.
Yes, let's see tech specs. Let's see. Performance.
Alright,
Capacity is
calm
1
down.
gigabytes.
Settle down.
So you're not gonna get a lot of data on there. Thickness.
Calm
3
down.
millimeters.
Calm down.
That's the cartridge. So a 7mm drive, not unlikely.
Possible.
Wait a minute, drive height 9.5mm. But the connector could be. It's IDE PATA. Weird things. So never mind.
Boo.
It looks just like the UMD, doesn't it?
It does.
Stupid.
Yeah, it does.
Stupid.
Even Sony realizes that now.
Even Sony killed the UMD. Stupid.
I am gonna plug my Twitter account here because I don't know if we all stop doing that, but it's
plug away.
at Ryan Schrout. And the only reason I do that is I've actually been posting a lot of our news stories to that first before we actually get them posted on the website.
Alright.
So just one of the integration methods we got in the back end now is really easy to do. So if you guys want to get all the news bits that we might talk about on the podcast or on Twitch here beforehand, you can subscribe there. Also, this is a well, we'll discuss this after maybe the show is completely over. But getting another UGM push out of the way.
Yeah, we got a bunch of. I got to get this done.
Well, the reason I bring it up is as well that I'm going to implement into Twitch and the podcast and that kind of stuff. And I want to make sure we've got one system out before we work.
Before you start another one.
Yeah.
Good thinking. And this time, it's all on you, dude. I am not. No contest. I've learned my lesson. Alan will be the judge of all of these from now on.
Or how about raffles? That's really
Raffles easy, isn't it? But something when you're giving away a $10,000 computer, a raffle seems so silly. But on the other hand, I'm really wishing I'd done a raffle at this point. We'll get there. We really will. So the podcast is coming up tonight. I understand beer will be consumed because the last time I came in here, there was beer in my desk. So I know there will be beer involved.
Well, it wasn't me. I didn't do that.
You didn't leave a fat tire on my desk.
No.
You know, we come in, we rearrange the furniture. You come in,
I tell you, it's like a frat party's been going on in here.
Hey guys, you drink wine on Twitter. We drink beer on the PC for podcast.
True. It's a working man's podcast.
That's right.
So that's coming up 10 p.m. Eastern, just about 3 hours from right now. So it gives them time to shower, shave, and have dinner. And come back here and talk about all these subjects and a lot more. And Colleen participates, and that is live on live.twit.tv every Thursday, or Wednesday, I should say, at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. That would be 1400 UTC. No, that wouldn't be 1400 UTC. That wouldn't even be close. Let's see, if it's 4 p.m., I add 7, 2100 UTC. No, wait a minute, 16, 2300 UTC. 11 p.m.
Just remember, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Wait a minute. No, that's wrong. It's 7 p.m. our time. That's 1900. So I add 7. That's 2600. I subtract 24. That's 200 hours if you live in UTC.
Well, you know, I'll buy you a slide roll.
A slide rule will not help.
You need to get one of those clocks right in front of you that shows
clocks.
Los
UTC
Angeles
clock.
time, Cincinnati time, UTC.
Great to talk to you guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next
Yeah.
time on Twitch. Bye bye.
See ya.
Man.
Uh-oh, gotta run.
Why would he?
See you later.
Man, why would he cheat when he had you? Man.
And then I'm gonna get you guys a new one. Get out of Dodge here. Let me just get those all set up for you. Thank you. Yeah, because it's really funky. We need to get the data off it, and then we can restart this job. Oh, okay, that's why. Oh, that's just saying system is busy.
Well, he didn't want his kids anyway. He didn't want to have his kids anyway. You know? Just look at that way.
Hey Warren, how are ya? Good to see you. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate it. Just so you know, these guys are regulars on our show, so they kind of know the lay of the land. And you know, lots of topics to talk about. Well, this week on the Security Now, it's Steve's questions. Your questions, Steve's answers. Episode 198. So in just a bit, we're going to get to those questions and answers. We also have security news.
Yep.
Errata and
errata. Yep.
To get Latin on you. First, though, I'd like to mention our friends
You know,
ASCARO.com.
I'm glad you were the one that
ready
first
to protect your enterprise, the ultimate
posted,
UTA,
when
Unified
you
Threat
asked
Management.
me, the first thing you
Install
asked me
security.
in the
It
PM,
does so much in that little steel box. Not much bigger than a router. You can tell its quality though. I mean, it is solid. And inside there, you get the best of breed and open source